We all have a soundtrack to our lives. That ever-expanding list of songs and music that means something special to us. It may start in the back of the car with your mum and dad driving. The first kiss at a school disco. That summer in Ibiza where, let's be honest, the only thing you can remember is the song that drew everyone to the dance floor. Couples have an hour song as the first dance at your wedding, and the relaxing music as a backdrop to the birth of our children. All of these songs have one thing in common: emotion, a memory of time and of place. The putamen area of the brain processes rhythm and regulates coordination and body movement. Dopamine is released into this area of the brain, which controls pleasure, motivation and reward-inducing loops. People repeat pleasurable behaviour. We feel good about ourselves. We enjoy a freedom of movement and of mind. And I think this picture demonstrates that absolutely perfectly. This lady clearly has rhythm. She's repeating a pleasurable behaviour of dancing, and she has a freedom of movement and of mind. Music and dance are regarded as cultural universals. Cultural universals are used in both anthropological and sociological studies. In his book, Human Universals in 1991, Donald Brown defines human universals as comprising those features of culture, society, language, behaviour and psyche for which there are no known exceptions. This includes music, rhythm, dance and to some degree the association between music and emotion. Now I'm just going to say that again. There are no known exceptions. Every culture has enjoyed music, song and dance. A Neanderthal flute dating back 40,000 years was uncovered in an archaeological dig in a cave in Germany. Ancient music was present in all societies: Chinese, Egyptian, Greek, Indian, Persian, Mesopotamian and Middle Eastern societies. All enjoyed music and dance. The temporal lobe processes what we hear, and music spans both sides of the brain. Words and language are interpreted in the left hemisphere, and music and sounds in the right hemisphere. The power of music is well documented, with music therapists providing psychological clinical intervention to help people whose lives have been affected by injury, illness, disability, and they do this through supporting their psychological, emotional and physical needs. Music has been shown to help people with speech difficulties. It was highlighted in the recent film The King's Speech, where music was used to help King George VI overcome a debilitating stammer in order to make speeches to the nation. There was also an example in BBC's Educating Yorkshire, where an English teacher, inspired by the King's Speech, got a young student with a terrible stammer to listen to music whilst he made a presentation, and the change is unbelievable. I'd advise you to look it up on YouTube. Educating Yorkshire. It's a fantastic clip. Marginalised groups now have a voice. With production costs reduced to a minimum, anyone can record a song and upload it to any of the major streaming platforms. The young, women and girls, victims of violence, can all express their pain in society and better cope with their traumatic life. Protest songs, charity singles, comedy records are all commonplace, allowing artists to spread the word and get their message out to a wider audience. With charity records, we all know Band-Aid's Do They Know It's Christmas. This song on its own has raised £50 million in the 40 years since it was released. Music saves lives. Music is very much part of a social scene. People with little in common can find a shared love over different genres of music. In clubs, music forms not only part of the night out, but a backdrop to the mating ritual of Homo sapiens. Many birds use song and dance when trying to attract a mate, and we humans do the same thing in a similar way. Music breaks down barriers. It makes unapproachable people seem more approachable. It makes you feel more relaxed, more comfortable. Music can cause hostility too. In the 50s and 60s, mods and rockers would regularly meet up on a bank holiday in some seaside town in order to fight. The mods' alliance to fashion and soul music was the antithesis of the rockers' love of motorbikes, leather jackets and rock and roll. These two subcultures regularly met, having running battles through coastal towns. Music hasn't always been used solely for enjoyment. It has been used to intimidate enemies as far back as the Vikings. The Viking horn used for communication during battle. Armies would often march to a drum as they advanced across no man's land. Not only did this give them a rhythm for advancing, but also it was a sense of foreboding for those being marched towards. The use of music in war is becoming a more common trend. The Vietnam War, the Waco Siege, General Noriega in Panama and the Battle of Fallujah are all instances where music has been used to intimidate and coerce the enemy. And in Guantanamo Bay, detainees have been forced to listen to Barney, the Purple Dinosaur's bland song, I Love You, for days on end, causing sleep deprivation and psychological distress. The aim is to break down detainees' mental resistance using music's ability to affect both mood and cognition. The US also have a group called PSYOPs, Psychological Operations, who consider music as part of their armoury. Last year, Taylor Swift toured the world and sold out stadiums everywhere she went. Unlike other stadium concerts, there was an excited calm, friendship bracelets being exchanged with strangers and new friends being made. All of the people at those concerts had a new emotion, a new memory of time and place. Music festivals are often sold out before the lineup is even announced. There is generally a hippie vibe where peace and love is as enjoyable or is as important as enjoying the music. Oasis back in 1996 sold out Nebworth with 250,000 tickets going in under 24 hours. And back then there was no internet, there was no Ticketmaster, everything was done on a phone line. Approximately 2.5 million people applied for tickets. That's what music can do. It brings people together at the same time in the same place to share a love of music or an individual band or an individual artist. Whether it's a virtuoso orchestral performance at the Albert Hall or the blur of the lead guitarist's fingers at your local pub, live is the best way to enjoy music. The performers get an adrenaline rush, the crowd get an adrenaline rush. There is an invisible connection through music. The same goes for DJs who have the ability to seamlessly mix music and keep people on the dance floor for hours. Many bigger bands use brass or string ensembles when they play live. The drama of the strings and the power of the horns add a wonderful depth and opulence to the sound. This cannot be replicated easily. NHK in Japan have 22.2 surround sound, and as incredible as it does sound, it's not as good as live. The UK music industry brings in £4.5 billion to the UK. It's one of the UK's most successful exports. And in that industry, nearly 250,000 people find employment. That sort of money shows how economically important music is. And this was highlighted by the plight of music venues in the 2020 pandemic. So much so, the government granted a 50% reduction in business rates for grassroots venues, something no other industry benefited from. We were in danger of losing the stages for new bands to showcase themselves. All the big bands have started small in pubs and clubs and gone on to bigger and better things. By removing that grassroots level, or the potential of moving that grassroots level, we were in danger of losing live music and new bands for many years to come. The voice is an integral part of music. It allows us to join in, be part of the scene, and in conjunction with melody, the two combine to have the ability to evoke every emotion: sadness, joy, heartbreak, anger, anticipation, and even disgust. Classical music has been shown to relax the listener. Up-tempo music is great when we're working out in the gym, and rap music has been known to cause violence amongst its audience. The voice is an instrument in itself. A cappella music was originally associated with the church, with Gregorian chants being an early example. A cappella was mentioned by Pepys in the UK in the 1700s, and in the early 1900s in the US universities, a cappella with choirs of many people became very, very popular. Sometimes we hear the first few bars of a song on the radio, or in a pub or a club, and that song may have been from 20 years ago, but you remember the lyrics. You remember when the lyrics start, and you're transported to a different time and a place from many years ago. Sometimes it may be a lost loved one's favourite tune, or it might have a song that contains lyrics that hit home harder than anything you'd ever heard before or since. Music is a powerful emotion and a powerful memory. The way we consume music has changed drastically and quickly with the advent of digital recording. From a wax cylinder that could be played 25 times before it was worn out, through vinyl, cassette, CDs, mini disc and MP3 players, each one in turn improving the sound quality and the ease of use. Now we have the ability to carry around virtually every song ever recorded just on our phones. Music, don't take it lightly.